Hello, this is Tale Kale from Absurdgentleman. I'm going to be doing a series of game reviews of first person, third person, horror, and just straight up adventure games. Going to be doing a bunch of them, being as I have a ton of them. And in the end, hopefully, you people will vote on which one you'd like to see full playthroughs of. And I will do those. The first one I'm bringing you is a game called Rhiannon, Curse of the Four Branches by a developer called Arbeth Studios, published by Lighthouse Interactive, Got Game Entertainment. Appears, by all appearances, to be an older point-click adventure game. It's very classic, point-click, and they're all done by pre-rendered animated screens. So, something you'd find in the early 90s, but this game actually came out in 2008. Which is really cool that people are still making games like this. Of course, it didn't really do all that good because it's a niche genre, but fortunately, this whole thing's kind of coming back, and I kind of hope that trend stays. But it's not necessarily a horror game, but I wouldn't really call it non-horror because it's definitely kind of creepy. Has really kind of a dark atmosphere. It was about a girl that was literally being tormented by this badass Welsh mythical wizard dude, and it sets it up pretty well that it's just you there now. But the story is what happened to this girl Rhiannon, and that they named after a mythical character called Rhiannon has to do with the mythology in the area that they're in. But I mean, it's got a really good themes to it. I mean, the tagline that was on the DVD case was "Delve into an adventure where ancient legends, myth, and magic spill into reality," and I think that's a really good tagline for what it is, because it's basically what you're dealing with. It's just a house and the property around it that you're taking place in, but it's all fairly interesting nonetheless. It's not so much a puzzle-oriented adventure game either. Some are more puzzle-oriented, and then in this case are inventory-based. Less finding items. There are a few puzzles in it, though. There's something that has to be done with that piano over there. You see on the screen here, but the majority of them are all inventory based. You get a lot of items and you find a lot of things that you're not sure what they do. 'Cause coming from an adventure game mindset, anything that's interactable is something that's going to come into use at a later time, but you're not sure what that's going to be. I found that this game has a really good balance of bringing in items that you're not sure what they do, but you find out later, or you're like, wait a minute, I needed this, and I saw that this while ago. Some games are really terrible at presenting that really well, but this one hits it pretty well and does a really good job at maintaining that. So I've enjoyed it so far. What I've played through, a lot of it's pretty creepy. A lot of it's just kind of interesting, but it's got a really good story to it. Really good play. I mean, I've had to consult the walkthrough several times, but it's not something you wouldn't think of doing that completely requires the walkthrough. So, like Silent Hill, I can't get through a Silent Hill game without consulting the walkthrough on my phone 24/7. But it does a really good job of making sure that you're not constantly reading the walkthrough or needing to read the walkthrough to get through it. So I'm going to show you some actual footage of the game, and I'm going to explain why. But without further ado, here's that footage. Alright, so coming out of just the review, I've been going through some regular slides of the game, just because, I mean, especially with these types of point-click adventures, that's all it really is anyways. And, you know, this will probably end up being the form I'll be using for the other games I'm going to review as well, just to make things quick and, you know, effective. But I wanted to actually show you a few things in this game that are kind of cool. First of all, being the beginning. It's not that very long, and it's set up very well. The problem with first-person adventure games like this is they tend to have really really bad intros. You know, they're not horrible. They don't have a whole lot of room to be set up. You're supposed to be a nameless figure, so it's really hard to give any kind of intro to a nameless figure that isn't involving just tossing you in. Like the first Mist, there's a book in you're in Mist. There you go. There's the beginning. And you know, you got games like Riven, the second Mist. It's got a little bit better of a intro to it, but it's still not quite as well as it could have done. You know, they did better with 4. They actually set up pretty well with 4, and I liked what they did with that. But Shivers, there's another good example. It's really quick, really brief, and tosses you in, and it's a really shitty excuse for you to be there at that museum anyways, but that's another game I'm going to do as well. But the second thing is just one of the scary moments of the game I've encountered. It's not very long into the game, so I'll go ahead and show that to you as well. But you see the menu is actually quite relaxing. It's really kind of nice menu, but I'll go ahead and show you the intro.
Hi Chris, thanks very much for offering to house sit for us. We hate having to leave the house empty with so much building work going on, but both Malcolm and I feel that Rhiannon needs a break from the place. She's been acting so odd recently and is not her usual self by any means. Hopefully a little holiday will do her good. I'm afraid that things are still a bit chaotic in the house at the moment, but you should be okay. We've turned off the electricity at the mains as a precaution until you arrive. Hopefully it won't be off long enough for the perishables to go off in the fridge. You'll find the key to the front door under the plant pot, and Malcolm, in his usual fashion, has left some instructions around the house for most eventualities, so you shouldn't have any problems. We'll be in touch when we're heading back, but we're not sure when that will be. Depends on how Rhiannon is, really. Speak to you soon. Love, Jen.
Bam. There you go. I mean, it's quick, but it's extremely effective. It sets it up very well for a nameless person to be at this house with legitimate reasons, and it's done very, very flawlessly, in my opinion, actually. This game does have fairly good music, in my opinion. Alright, so just give you a little quick interaction with the game here. I'll go to the point where I want to show you that. So let's
I am Druid. Rhaenyra's soul is mine.
So there you have it, one of the creepier moments of the game, and definitely one of the stronger adventure game intros I've seen in a long while, especially for first-person adventure games, that is. Not so much third-person, because they have a lot more to work with for a third-person, but for first-person, it's definitely one of the stronger intros I've seen. So, that concludes my review on Rhiannon, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, which will probably end up being Shivers. So that's quite an interesting one, so stay tuned for that.